another segment with the know-it-all man. That's what I'll call myself. Teenagers, OMG, oh my God. What is it with teenagers these days? Believe me when I say the teen years, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Those are the worst years. Now, if you happen to be, I don't know, let's say a single parent with a teenager, I feel for you. I really do, because you see, teenagers are confused. They always have been confused. They always will be confused. Those are the formative years from 13 to 19. Usually, most teenagers are out of the house and have a job and have their own place and everything like that when they reach the age of 21. But that's another story. Okay, now let's look at it. Let's look at it from a standpoint like this. Okay, I may be wrong when I say this, and I try to make it humorous. That way I'll hold your attention. And you won't go, oh man, this guy's just rambling on. No, I'm trying to give you some background and incentive, and I'm trying to teach you something. So that people on YouTube probably never have done this. People on YouTube are trying to show you what's wrong with this, and this ain't no good, and don't buy this, and all this crap. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you teenagers, okay? Let's start with 13, okay? I wonder if teenage boys are easier than teenage girls. Probably so, because teenage boys, they're into teenage girls. Yeah. And a 13-year-old teenage boy, he looks at life like, hey, well, okay, it's time to put the fire trucks away and think of, do things that 13-year-olds do. And it has nothing to do with that three-letter word. And we know what that three-letter word is. sex. What 13-year-olds are supposed to do. Let's take a look at boys and girls. 13-year-old boys are supposed to build tree houses, collect baseball cards, collect comic books, hang out with their buds, and everything. Play baseball, and stuff. That's what we need to go back to. Serious business. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, but 13-year-olds need seriously to consider, they need to stop and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm just going to be a kid, and they don't need to go out there and do crime at 13, because they can be incarcerated at 13 years old. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a philosopher. I was 13 once. When I was 13, A year after that, I wound up in the hospital because I had surgery on my, on my hip. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because you don't put your personal business, because somebody will know where to hit you. Okay, anyway, 13-year-old boys ride bicycles, play basketball, go to little league games, go to football games, collect football cards, baseball cards, collect comic books and stuff like that and everything. A 13-year-old boy today wouldn't even be interested in that. You get a 13-year-old boy today and you bring him some comic books and some baseball cards and some football cards and junk like that. Video games. That's what they're into. Video games. Video games with violence, bombs, explosions, guns, stuff like that and everything. If you expose your 13-year-old to, what do you say? I'm not sure. If you expose them to the things of today, a 13-year-old, and everything, then you failed. You failed as a parent. Now, if you're a single parent and there's no mom or dad, see, it's easier to be a single parent. We're getting off track, but it's easier to be a single parent if you're a woman, because with a teenager, that messes up your dating action. Yeah. See, no man wants to date a woman that has a teenager, because, especially teenage boys, because teenage boys always they're talking about, you ain't gonna date my mama. You can forget that. See, while mama's in the bathroom getting herself ready for her date, the 13-year-old boy is out in the living room with the date, and he says, "Hey, look here, boss. What are your intentions? What are you gonna do with my mama? What, are you gonna take her to a Burger King or whatever? How much you planning on spending on my mama?" See, my mama's been hurt, before, right? My sorry behind dad got up there and left us when I was little, and my mama had to raise me, by herself, and stuff like that. I mean, she didn't tell you all of that, right? So by the time mom comes out of the bathroom for her date is out the door and gone, right? So Junior has turned around and destroyed another chance for mama to find happiness. See, it's like this. See, take it from me. I don't have any kids, so I can't. I know you're saying to yourself, you say, how can you sit here and tell us about teenagers if you never raised one? I've been around them. I've dated women, and I was married to two women who had kids. And my taking from my own experience, my wife had 2 daughters and a son. And let's just say this. I know one of them liked me. The other one I'm not so sure about. She pretended to like me. And the boy, he wouldn't have anything to do with me. So you can say to yourself, I have experience in this. I mean, I'm 56 years old. I've seen some mule-headed, stubborn teenagers, because I've went to the Walmart and I've sat there at the Walmart or stood there at the Walmart waiting for my cab, and the next thing you know, you see these teenagers. Usually they travel in packs, groups of 4 or 5. Usually all girls, or usually 2 girls, 2 guys, 4 girls, 4 guys. They travel in groups. Do their parents know where they are? Probably not. Teenagers love to hang at Walmart and the mall. The mall is where they love to hang out. And cyber. They want to be on the internet. They want to have a laptop. They want to have a tablet. They want to have everything, that they're supposed to have, that the other teenagers have. And teenagers are something else, I'm going to tell you. And in this series, you'll see. Excuse me. Which leads me to my end point. Teenagers. Oh my God.